keeps the heartbeat of a community alive? Is it the courage to create, the power to connect, the vision to transform? Well, it's all of this and more. It's a symphony of ideas, innovation, and industry. But where do these stories come alive? It's right here on The Isle, 104.9 FM, the station where dreams meet action and growth finds its voice. The Isle, 104.9. Business, economy, development. Stay tuned.
We've got just what you need right here at Femi Wash Media. Call it the Midas Touch, and you wouldn't be wrong. Let us record, produce, mix, and master your audio like nobody does. Reach us on our contact today for the best quality job.
It's a beautiful Wednesday morning, and you're welcome to News Update on Souq News Television, reaching you live from our studios in Lagos. I am Grace Komalafe. And we'll begin with the top story. The Nigerian Senate has moved the passage of President Bola Tinubu's tax reform bills to Wednesday, May 7, which is today, 2025, to allow for proper scrutiny and debate. The four bills, Nigerian Tax Bill, Tax Administration Bill, Revenue Tax Board Bill, and Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill, were sent to the Senate on November 7, 2024, to help improve fiscal policies and increase government revenue. There has been growing concern over the delay, especially after the House of Representatives approved the bills 2 weeks ago. Many believe the Senate must act fast to support the nation's economic reforms and reduce dependence on borrowing. In another development, the Senate has agreed to hold a two-day National Security Summit in Abuja. The decision followed recent killings in Plateau, Benue, and Zamfara states. The summit will bring together leaders from across the country to discuss new solutions to insecurity and advise the federal government on better policies. The National Biotechnology Research and Development Agency, NBRDA, has said that President Bola Tinubu legally approved the reappointment of Professor Abdullahi Mustafa as Director General. The agency made this known in a statement by the DG's press secretary, Toyin Omozuwa, to correct media reports questioning the legality of the renewal. It explained that the appointment followed the National Biotechnology Development Agency Act 2022. The agency said the approval came through a letter from the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, dated November 6, 2024. It also dismissed concerns raised by some civil society and academic groups, saying those claims had no legal backings. NBRDA noted that even critics had previously praised Mustafa's leadership and his efforts in mentoring young scientists. NBRDA added that Mustafa's second and final term began on October 31, 2024, and that under his watch, the agency has achieved key progress in pharmaceutical research and biotechnology development. It called on the media to report responsible and avoid spreading false or misleading information. In another development, the Debt Management Office, DMO, has opened a subscription for 2 federal government of Nigeria FGN savings bonds at 1,000 naira per unit, subject to a minimum subscription of 5,000 naira and in multiples of 1,000 naira thereafter, subject to a maximum subscription of 50 million naira. In a statement on its official website on Monday, DMO said the offers opened on Monday on May 5, May 5, 2025, and will close on May 9, 2025. The first offer is a 2-year savings bond due to on May 14, 2027 at 16.173% interest, while the second is a 3-year savings bond due on May 14, 2028, at the interest rate of 17.173%. The settlement date is May 14, 2025, while coupon payment dates will be made quarterly, August 14, November 14, February 14, and May 14. The FGN Sevens bond offer is tailored and targeted at retail investors with guaranteed quarterly interest payment and repayment of the principal at maturity. Away from Nigeria, the United Kingdom is considering new immigration measures that could make it harder for citizens of Nigeria, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka to obtain visas in response to high rates of overstays and subsequent asylum claims. According to the Times, the UK Home Office is preparing to introduce stricter policies targeting nationalists identified as having a higher likelihood of remaining in the country after their visa expire. This move comes amid concerns over the growing trend of individuals arriving on work or study visas and later seeking asylum, particularly from countries like Nigeria, where the phenomenon of Japa migration abroad has surged. A spokesperson for the Home Office confirmed that a forthcoming immigration white paper expected later this month will outline steps to tackle visa abuse, including increased intelligence gathering on individuals who may attempt to bypass immigration rules. And now, after 3 years of talks, the UK and India have finally agreed a trade deal that will make it easier for UK firms to export whiskey, cars and other products to India and cut taxes on India's clothing and footwear exports. Prime Minister Keir Starmer said the deal would boost growth and deliver for British people and business. However, it doesn't include any change in immigration policy, including towards Indian students studying in the UK.
This is a historic day for the United Kingdom and for India because this is the biggest trade deal that we, the UK, have done since we left the EU, and it's the most ambitious trade deal that India has ever done. And this will be measured in billions of pounds into our economy and jobs across the whole of the United Kingdom. So it is a really important, significant day. So I'm really pleased for working people across the country who will feel the benefits of this.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi described the deal as an historic milestone that was ambitious and mutually beneficial. Once it comes into force, which could take up to a year, UK consumers are likely to benefit from the reduction in tariffs on goods coming into the country from India. And that's the news this morning on Souq News Television. Many thanks for watching. Do not forget, Just Africa will be coming your way in a bit. Please stay around. I am Grace Komalafe. Do have a pleasant morning.
Known as the father of African literature, Chinua Achebe was born on the 16th of November 1930 in Ogidi, now Anambra State, eastern Nigeria. He was born to Isaiah Okafor Achebe, a teacher and an evangelist, and Janet Anienichi Iluebunam, a vegetable farmer. Achebe has reshaped the global understanding of African identity through the power of storytelling. Raised during the twilight of colonial rule, Achebe's education was steeped in both Igbo tradition and the Western values of post-colonial Christianity. As a student at the University of Ibadan, he became fiercely critical of how Africa was portrayed in Western literature. Achebe believed that Western literature often painted Africa as a dark and primitive continent, but he sought to tell the African people's lens. In 1958, Achebe's groundbreaking novel Things Fall Apart shattered colonial narratives Through the tragic story of Okonkwo, an Igbo warrior, Achebe illuminated the complexities of African culture and the devastating effects of European colonization. Things Fall Apart became more than just a novel. It became a symbol of African resistance against the oppressive narratives of colonialism. Achebe was not just a writer. He was a passionate advocate for African self-determination, and his political activism made him a critical voice in the post-colonial era. Even after a life marked by personal and political struggles, including a car accident that left him partially paralyzed, Achebe continued to inspire. He taught at Bard College and later Brown University, where his influence reached new generations of writers and thinkers. He was married to Christiana Chinwe Okoli, and they had 4 children. Sadly, he died in March 2013 at the age of 82. Chinua Achebe's legacy endures in his novels, his essays, and in the countless voices of African writers who follow in his footsteps. He gave us a voice, a story, and a vision of Africa that is ours to share.
Wole Soyinka, born Akiwande Oluwole Babatunde Soyinka on July 13, 1934, in Abeokuta, Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, stands as one of Africa's most celebrated literary figures and a global icon of resistance against oppression. His life and works reflect an unwavering commitment to justice, culture, and the transformative power of art. Soyinka was born into a Yoruba family in colonial Nigeria, an environment that exposed him to both traditional African culture and Western education. His father, Samuel Ayodele Soyinka, was a school headmaster, while his mother, Grace Eniola Soyinka, was a devoted Anglican. This blend of indigenous and colonial influences deeply shaped Soyinka's world. Soyinka attended Government College Ibadan and later proceeded to the University College Ibadan, where he studied English and literature. Soyinka completed his education at the University of Leeds in England, earning a degree in English and later a doctorate degree. In the late 1950s, Soyinka began working as a dramaturgist at the Royal Court Theatre in London. However, his passion for storytelling and cultural preservation drew him back to Nigeria, where he founded 2 theatre groups known as the 1960 Masks and the Orisun Theatre Company. Soyinka's works, often a fusion of Western dramatic techniques and African themes, address universal issues of justice, freedom, and human dignity. His early play, titled A Dance of the Forest, which was introduced in 1960, written to celebrate Nigeria's independence, critically examined the nation's socio-political trajectory, setting the tone for his career as both artist and activist. Soyinka's activism became more visible during Nigeria's post-independence years. In 1967, during the Nigerian Civil War, he called for a ceasefire between federal forces and Biafran separatists. This led to his arrest by the military government, and he spent 22 months in prison, where he wrote a short drama titled The Man Died, Prison Notes, a harrowing account of his imprisonment and a profound critique of authoritarianism. Soyinka has authored more than 20 works, including plays, novels, poetry, and essays. In 1986, Soyinka became the first African to win the Nobel Prize of Literature, an achievement that brought global recognition to African literature. Soyinka remained an outspoken critic of oppressive regimes, often at great personal risk. His activism extended beyond Nigeria, addressing global issues of injustice and human rights. During periods of military rule in Nigeria, he went into exile, continuing to write and speak against tyranny. Today, Soyinka is celebrated not only as a literary giant, but also as a symbol of resilience and moral courage.
Elon Musk is a visionary entrepreneur leading innovative ventures in technology, space exploration, electric vehicles, and renewable energy. Musk was born on June 28, 1971 to a South African engineer and his mother, a Canadian model and nutritionist in Pretoria, South Africa. His talents for computers and entrepreneurship emerged early, and at age 12, he created and sold a video game. Musk studied physics and economics at Queen's University and the University of Pennsylvania. In 1995, Musk founded Zip2, sold to Compaq for $307 million. He also co-founded X.com, which became PayPal, acquired by eBay for $1.5 million in 2002. Driven by a vision for humanity's multiplanetary future, Musk founded SpaceX in 2002, developing affordable rockets to support International Space Station mission and NASA's Artemis program. He became a major investor in Tesla 2004, launching electric vehicles like Roadster, Model X, and Model 3. Tesla unveiled the Cybertruck, beginning deliveries in 2023. Musk acquired X, formerly known as Twitter, in 2022, aiming to enhance future and transparency. Musk has at least 12 children from multiple relationships, including Justin Wilson, Tallulah Riley, Grimes, and Siobhan Zilis. Through SpaceX, Tesla, and other ventures, Musk shapes technology and innovation globally, and his influence extends beyond business into politics and culture.
Anthony Onyemaechi Elumelu was born on the 22nd of March 1963 in Jos, North Central Nigeria, to Susanna Dominic Elumelu, originally from Delta State. Tony earned a degree in economics from Ambrose Ali University, where he laid the foundation for his future career, and then furthered his education at the University of Lagos, where he obtained a master's degree in economics. His academic journey also includes attending the Harvard Business School, where he completed the Owner of President Management program, equipping him with advanced business management skills. Tony currently serves as the chairman of Heirs Holdings, Transcorp, and United Bank for Africa, UBA, demonstrating his significant influence in the banking and investment sector. He founded the Tony Elumelu Foundation, which aims to empower African entrepreneurs through comprehensive training, mentorships, and funding opportunities. In addition to his professional achievements, he's also a family man, married to Dr. Adele Vivian Elumelu, and together they have 7 children. In 2020, his efforts were acknowledged when he was named one of Time's 100 most influential people in the world. Anthony Elumelu's net worth is estimated to be around $700 million, a testament to his successful ventures and strategic investments. Elumelu continues to be a driving force in the business world, advocating for sustainable economic growth and empowering the next generation of African entrepreneurs.
Idumota Market. Eko Idumota, once a residential neighborhood, is home to Idumota Market, located on Lagos Island. It is one of the oldest and arguably one of the largest markets in West Africa. Idumota is a historic neighborhood adjacent to the Lagos port that facilitated the slave trade, and later, under the British indirect rule, it surrounded to exports that fueled the colonial enterprise. Idumota was also the location of an armed forces remembrance cenotaph called Soja Idumota, built as a monument to Nigerian soldiers who served with the West African Frontier Force. An Eyo Masquerade statue and a clock tower are also some monuments at Idumota. Idumota Market is so popular that large sales are recorded as early as 7 a.m. The market is made up of hundreds of locked-up shops occupying several multi-story buildings, with some measuring about 5 or more floors. In 2010, the Lagos State government demolished some illegal structures in order to improve vehicular and human movement in and around the markets. During weekdays, the neighborhood of Idumota is densely populated by shoppers, traders, and bus passengers. From the Carter Bridge, ascending into Lagos Island, passengers can see the neighborhood before disembarking at their final destination. Idumota Market accommodates the substantial inflow of imported goods. The bulk of import from abroad are routed first through Idumota and then on to other markets through Nigeria and other West and Central African countries. The energy of private Idumota traders and wholesalers facilitate this activity, where millions of US dollars worth of wholesale is exchanged daily. Idumota Markets, Souq Enlightenment.
Broad Street. Broad Street, situated in Lagos Island, is steeped in Nigerian history. Once the biggest financial hub of the country, it housed the headquarters of major banks, linked the CBN, the stock exchange, and the loads of lender companies. Broad Street is a historically significant street. It has played a central role in the development of Lagos and history, an important commercial and administrative center for the British colonial authorities. It was also a home to some of the city's earliest modern buildings. Broad Street was a residential area in the pre-colonial era. With the British came the Methodist Boys High School in 1878 and the Broad Street Prison in 1882, renamed Freedom Park. The General Hospital, which was a British military hospital, was built in 1893, being the first general hospital in Nigeria. The old British Secretariat building, which is now the Federal Ministry of Justice, was built in 1906. Broad Street has seen a full turn into modern commercial office blocks, complexes, skyscrapers, and markets from the Outer Marina through Akpombo, early into the Adeniji Adele Road. Broad Street is one of the busiest streets in Nigeria on weekdays, where commercial activities take place day and night. From modern buildings to ancient structures, this street gives one a raw dose of life in Lagos. Broad Street is often referred to as Lagos Financial District. It boasts a mix of architectural styles, reflecting its long history, colonial-era buildings, Victorian and Edwardian architectural features, alongside more modern skyscrapers and structures. Broad Street remains a vital, vibrant part of the Nigerian economy. Broad Street, Souq Enlightenment.
Lateef Jakande. Born Lateef Kayode Jakande in the Ekpetedo area of Lagos Island, Lagos State, on July 1929. He studied at the Lagos Public School at Enowa, Lagos Island, then at Bonham Memorial Methodist School, Port Harcourt, King's College, enrolled at Ilesha Grammar School, where he edited a literary paper called The Quarterly Mirror. Jakande began a career in journalism in 1949 with the Daily Service and joined the Nigerian Tribune in 1953. The owner, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, appointed Jakande editor-in-chief of the Tribune in 1956. Jakande established John West Publications in 1975 after leaving Tribune and began to publish the Lagos News. He served as the first president of the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria, NPAN. Jakande ran for election as executive governor of Lagos State in 1979 on the Unity Party of Nigeria platform. His administration was effective and open and implemented the cardinal policies of his party. He introduced housing and educational programs targeting the poor, building new neighborhood primary and secondary schools, and providing free primary and secondary education. He gave poor people's children education, and many of them are now very prominent in the society today. Jakande established the Lagos State University and constructed over 30,000 housing units. After the military takeover in 1983, Jakande was charged, prosecuted, and convicted of treason and later pardoned. He served as Minister of Works under the Sani Abacha military regime. He died in Lagos on February 11, 2021. Lateef Jakande was the first civilian governor of Lagos State. Lateef Kayode Jakande, Souq Enlightenment. The Three Wise Men. Iconic sculptures and statues adorn major metropolitan cities of the world. In Lagos, Nigeria, the statue of three men designed to depict the state's cultural heritage and to usher in visitors and tourists into the ever-accommodating center of excellence is no doubt an astounding work of art. Originally built under the administration of Colonel Raji Rasaki, designed by Bodu Shodende in 1991 and standing over 12 feet high, referred to as Agba Meta or Aro Meta, the three sculptured chiefs were placed along the Lagos-Ibadan toll gate to welcome people coming into Lagos State. The statue called the Three Wise Men by many has become a major signature for the state. Three white-capped chiefs clad in white wrappers, knotted across their shoulders and with clenched right fists are shown in the artwork. The images fascinate and create impressions in the minds of visitors coming into the state, captivating the attention of visitors who look with keen interest, pondering on the messages which the posture of the engraved images signifies. The Three Wise Men has been relocated thrice from its original position at Ojodu Berger end of Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to Magodo area before its final relocation to its present site at Olowopopo Drive. The sculpture has suffered severe damages over the years and renovated. Bodun Shodende, through this sculpture, depicted the highest honor that can be afforded to anyone in the Eko greeting tradition. The Three Wise Men, Arometa, Souq Enlightenment. We've got just what you need right here at Femi Wash Media. Call it the Midas Touch and you wouldn't be wrong. Let us record, produce, mix and master your audio like nobody does. Reach us on our contact today for the best quality job.
What keeps the heartbeat of a community alive? Is it the courage to create, the power to connect, the vision to transform? Well, it's all of this and more. It's a symphony of ideas, innovation, and industry. But where do these stories come alive? It's right here on The Isle, 104.9 FM, the station where dreams meet action and growth finds its voice. The Isle, 104.9. Business, economy, development. Stay tuned.
Top of the morning to you and welcome. We are reaching you live from our studios at Souq News Television from the commercial hub of Lagos. My name is Oyinpriye Krumale. This is Just Africa, and thanks for joining us. Good morning, Olumide.
Good morning, Priye. How are you doing?
Good. They want to know who you are.
Well, good morning and welcome to Just Africa. I am Olumide Shokoya.
Yes. Okay. So one thing I want to briefly talk about is like promoting locally owned brands and products in Africa, like the Buy Kenya product or initiative can significantly boost job creation, economic growth, manufacturing, and reliance to defeat the reliance on imports. And this is seen as a cornerstone of economic transformation capable of creating jobs and boosting productivity. Additionally, initiatives like the Buy Naija and Promote the Naira campaign encourage consumers to support local businesses, strengthening national currencies and manufacturing sector. Now, this is not unconnected to talking about local product. I remember before the show came on, we were talking about some of those good names in Nigeria, probably the ones we knew when we were growing up, or the ones that Nigerians are familiar with, which are natural, local made brands that do not only, provided the product, the quality products that Nigerians need at that particular point in time, but expanded and diversified to the extent that they made job creation available to strengthen the local currency, and their products, equally met up with the standard that they had to export to other African countries. And one of the names, now some of the names that came to mind, one of them we talked about the Oki biscuits.
It was a very, it gives me nostalgia when I remember the Okin brand, the Coaster brand. We had Okin biscuit, we had shortbread. It was founded in 1980, June 1980 by Chief Emmanuel Olatunji Adesoye. It was headquartered in Offa, Kwara State. And, they had a wide range of biscuits and all that. And I'm sure those watching right now would be able to remember those days in the 80s, 90s, and all that. I think, I'm not sure whether they're still...
in existence?
Not in existence, but whether they're still producing that brand of Coaster, Okin, shortbread, and all that. But, they really... we didn't really have... imported. We had imported, but there were very few.
Yes.
Unlike now that the whole market is flooded.
Market is proliferated by imported. But so that biscuit, so I tend to now want to look at it from different perspective. That specific brand, the Okin biscuit, when I look at it, I want to look at the raw materials that was required to make that product. And when you take a very good look at it, these are raw materials that could be sourced locally, and except for the machinery that would be required to put that together. And even the machinery, to some large extent, would have been sourced locally. So when we look at it very, very well, it was competitive.
Yes.
And the fact that it was cost effective, and everyone,
quality,
all strata of society can relate to it, and the market was definitely so. But at the moment, it seemed as if, are they out of business, or the competition has become so strong that they've lost their grip on Nigerians?
It's a $1 billion question. It's a $1 billion question. And I sort of wish they were still in existence so that you can tell our children that this is what, but if you look at it now, we have other brands coming up, but Okin biscuits stood the test of time. They were there for years. I think they were there for about 10 years or more, if I'm not mistaken.
More than that.
More than
10 years.
More than that.
And if we look at that, we also have some detergent products that were locally made. Even before the Chinese and the Pakistanis